Well, hey, good morning, Dave, or whenever you're watching this, or whoever's watching this. This is a short little video. I'm gonna do a little fresh fruit this morning and show you a technique of fixing grapefruits. It does really well in oranges, citrus. We're gonna segment. We're gonna get the fruit by itself. I'm also gonna have a nice apple, banana, and whatever other fruit you have for a nice fruit cup. For me, these four are kind of my basis. I really like these. They all are real good. The banana is kind of like the one that doesn't stand up so well. These three guys will you can prepare them well ahead of time. You can put them in the fridge, and you can add a banana in later. And just to show you what's going on here, snow day in Michigan. You see the snow coming down? Crazy. So another snow day here. So before I begin this one, I'm gonna do a little nice singing bowl just to put you in the right frame of mind, the right state of mind, you can say. So I'm gonna make it sing. You just listen to it, close your eyes, and especially as the bowl gets quieter, try to listen to it. I'm not sure how well it'll come out on the computer, but we'll see. And a little exhale maybe when it fades. And then hopefully you have a feeling of a little more, and a little more, right? A little more relaxed, calm, but also more alert, expansive. I like that word. Feel a little more expansive. It's nice for me to remind me to not go too fast. So I'm going to start with the grapefruit and show you this technique that I learned from a TV chef a long time ago. So it's important you have a nice sharp knife. You could have, I have a serrated knife that works really well, or if you have one that's not, as long as it's really sharp. And I'm just going to start at one end of the grapefruit, and I don't want to cut too deep because I don't want to cut too much of the fruit of the way. So I'm just trying to cut in, and it's okay if I'm a little bit off, especially if your knife is sharp enough, you can go and fine tune it. So I'm just going to trim off each end. So I'm going to flip it to the other side. And usually I do this over the sink, and I just drop it right into the sink, and then I'll take care of it afterwards. I wouldn't recommend putting a lot of stuff down your garbage disposal, though. This is pretty rough. Sometimes it's nice to put a little bit of that for the fresh smell. So both ends are pretty good. Now I'm going to start from one end, and I'm going to work my way around. And it's just kind of a little bit of I don't try to do it all at once. I kind of file the curve of the fruit, and I just kind of work from the top, and I'll come back. See, I got one. Then I'll come back and I'll get that. That white stuff, that pithy, they call that pithy, is especially in a grapefruit, it has a very bitter. So we're trying to get as much of that off, but we don't want to sacrifice that beautiful flesh of the fruit. So this part takes, it just takes practice to get it to come smoothly. And then I'll flip it around. Sometimes there's a little bit of extra on the bottom side. Just want to clean it up pretty well. So that grapefruit is pretty good. Now I'm going to do the orange. Same deal. And I got lucky this week. Real good, big oranges. And as I say that, I'm opening up, this one's a little bit dry inside. But that's the beauty of having the segmentation technique, is even when they're a little dry, they'll taste pretty dang good, because we're going to get rid of most of that membrane and just have the fruit. And while I do this, just a tip reminder that hopefully you're storing your grapefruits, oranges, your apples, store those in your refrigerator. I store mine in a plastic bag, and it helps them stay fresh very long. And here in the background, my tea kettle is starting to boil. This is a great way to start your day. Some fresh fruit. You can prepare a lot of this stuff the night before. So a little fresh fruit, maybe a couple of fruit. Give that tea a minute. Now I'm going to dump this bowl out with all this residue. I actually have my kitchen composter. Put it right in there. And then I'm going to use this bowl. There it is. I'm going to use this bowl to cut the fruit right into it. So let me switch it back. I'm going to switch the angle a little bit so you can see it a little better. So let's do this grapefruit. So here's the second skill part, I guess you would say. So it takes some time to build up that skill. You want to get right on the membrane as close as you can. Hopefully your knife's not too thick. And you just kind of cut down on it, follow the path of the membrane. And when you get to the bottom, you got to make a little turn slightly and cut up the other side. And if you get right in the membrane, you can just kind of almost push it up. And then it will come off that little seed I got rid of. So I don't know if you can see that here. I got a real nice clean on the membrane, right in the membrane. I got all the fruit off both sides. Sometimes when you cut it down, you miss a little bit, and a little bit of the fruit stays. So like this time, I didn't get all that membrane when I cut it down. Where is it? I didn't get all the fruit right there. So I can come back and cut up, and I'll get that last little guy off. So just it's a slicing down, and it's almost just making that little turn, and then just pushing it, and it'll pop right out. And you just work your way along, and it probably won't go quite so smooth at the beginning. And oh, by the way, if you do store your fruit in the fridge, which of course you should, it's nice to take it out like an hour or so, or even the night before. Take it out ahead of time. The fruit will, the flavor will be better. Give it a chance to warm up a little bit to room temperature, and also it will be nice. It won't be so cold on your hands. This one I didn't take out that long ago. Now the end of the grapefruit, this is the best part. Make sure your hands are clean. You're gonna really get all that juice out. That juice is got a lot of flavor. Really good flavor. Get rid of that. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the orange. Oranges don't typically, I mean, this is a pretty big orange. Sometimes oranges, you don't even have to segment them. They just start to come apart and like that. And then it just comes off, and then you can clean it up a little bit. But the orange membrane, as you know, is not so bitter. So it's okay if some of the orange membrane goes in. Once you get the orange this far, sometimes it'll just like, it'll almost fall apart. I'll get pieces like this and I'll just eat it. A nice orange membrane can taste good. You know, if it has a little flesh with it. And of course, good fiber for you, which is one of the things about this technique, you are sacrificing some of your fiber. But I don't know, very many, usually with grapefruits, people will eat it, you know, maybe like cut it in the other way and then scoop out each fruit. So it's just a nice way because you get a beautiful piece of flesh for that grapefruit. Which tastes so good. And that's the key part. So I don't know if you want to watch any more, but if you are, I'll just do this apple. I'm just going to do half of it. Save the other half of my oatmeal. Here's how I do my apple. Always cut towards me carefully. It's sharp knife, of course. Cut it down. I'm going to cut that little part out. Try not to sacrifice too much of the fruit. Get all that middle part out, and then I cut it down. I'll just cut it through. That part really didn't have any. But always cutting towards you with that little knife. Just, you know, you don't want your knife to be too big. Cutting towards your thumb. And actually you want a pretty sharp knife. so you don't cut yourself. Because if your knife's not too sharp enough, then you start to let's do half a banana. You have to work harder for the knife. You got to press harder, and then all of a sudden it breaks through, and then you cut yourself. So sharp knives are much safer in many ways. All right, that's pretty good. And the best thing that really is nice is strawberries. If you have some fresh strawberries or a few fresh blueberries, that can be outstanding. But here you go, finished product. Beautiful big bowl of some fresh fruit in the morning, and maybe a cup of tea. And while I eat that, I will enjoy the view out on the snow. And sorry, I didn't get that set up. Namaste.